Games in this podcast range from E to M.
Hey everybody, welcome to the official Xbox podcast, the only podcast coming to you from inside Xbox. I'm Jeff, and today sitting down with one of my favorite teams, the Diablo team, up here from Blizzard, visiting us here in Seattle in the dead of winter. You're welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming. First here on the outside, we have the game director for Diablo 4, Brent Gibson. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you.
And the lead game producer, Matthew Cedarquist.
Yeah, it's really great to be here.
I heard people call you Cedarquist.
Cedarquist, yeah.
Matt, too many Matts on the team?
You can call me Matthew, Matt, Cedarquist.
We're going to go with Cedarquist. I want you to be comfortable here on the show. We're very glad that you came up here.
Thank you.
And we're very glad, normally this the set is bathed in green, and we got to have some nice red. I got to wear
Make it a little dark.
Yeah, I like this.
Look at that logo.
Feeling. And it's a good thing because, as we can see right here, 2026 is shaping up to be a colossal year for Diablo. It's the franchise's 30th anniversary. Yeah. I mean, which is kind of crazy. I remember being in my dorm on my 386 Acer playing Diablo Hellfire. I had the Hellfire version. Mm-hmm. And my God, just one dungeon. That's what you had, one dungeon back. Kids today, they're so spoiled.
They are spoiled.
Open world. Oh my God. But, so let's start there. What does the big 3-0 mean to the two of you? And what does it mean to the team?
I mean, for me, it's legacy. Here you have a game that came out when we're kids. We've played it. We started as fans. We've made our way through so many different iterations. And now we're here actually contributing at the 30th anniversary. The honor of being able to be a part of that legacy and seeing it all unfold is huge.
Yeah. Teenager Cedarquist would have never imagined.
That's
never, right? So many sunrises playing this game.
Yep.
So many calls out of, not going to work because I stayed up until, 7 a.m. playing. Unbelievable to actually get the opportunity to put out a new class and new DLC for D2.
Is there any folks from the team that were there, all the way back in the day, or is it still working with you all? Who's the most tenured person?
The most tenured person? That would know. Might be Jason.
It might be, actually.
Yeah, Jason Regier.
Yeah. We have a technical director who was working at the time for D2.
He was at Blizzard North. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, well, thank you for your service.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Let's jump in. A 30th anniversary. Very, very few games get to celebrate a 30th anniversary franchises and still be super relevant to this day. So you brought announcements. This isn't just, let's have a party and with a lot of candles and a lot of flames and blowing that out. And let's talk about what's new. You guys are releasing a new class, and this is really cool for both Diablo 4 and Diablo 2 Resurrected. Yeah. We're talking about the Warlock. We were getting ready for this show. I was looking through. There's so much speculation. People looking what could that be? Is it real? What could it be? This is how I would make it if I was designing the Warlock. Well, it's real. Yeah. Seems pretty badass. Tell us all about the Warlock.
You want me to start?
One of the things I really love about the Warlock, and we might talk about it a little bit later, is that the way that we have looked at this is the sense that the Warlock itself is a legacy, right? You've seen those photos where you have someone, the before war and after war picture, right? And so the journey that the Warlock is going to take between the games is that same kind of journey. And so when you're at D2, it's like when that dark magic just started.
Yeah, he kind of comes down off of his high horse and he's like, you know what? He sees Sanctuary kind of going to hell and he says, I'll do it myself. I'll figure this out,
What is a Warlock? Why don't we zoom back out? I'm watching Stranger Things over Christmas. I'm like, wait, a sorcerer and a wizard aren't the same thing. So we obviously sorcerer class is hugely important for Diablo. Yeah. How does a Warlock differ in that way?
That's actually a really important point, right? When we had to think about Warlock, there's a lot of expectations that have already been set for Warlock when we're talking about Blizzard. Right. So everybody immediately will go to that World of Warcraft vision of the Warlock, which there's a lot of great stuff in there that is still inspiring today. But we had to think really long and hard about what that means for Diablo, which is a little different. Mm-hmm. It's a little darker. It's a lot darker. It's a lot darker. You saw the trailer. Yeah. It's a lot more rock and roll. And we really wanted to make sure that it really dug deep into that binding, breaking control over demons and demonology.
Yeah. But just like you said, it's a story of the Warlock, right? So in Diablo 2, it's a little bit more grounded to reality. You had to go through 25 plus years of Diablo. You couldn't just plop something brand new in there. You had to actually sit back and say, okay, this Warlock, what does it look like back in 1999.
Oh,
you know?
God, yeah.
And then for Diablo 4, take that
Fast forward.
and fast forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's talk about it. What's it like adding a class to a game that has been around since we were teenagers, maybe in the early 20s, but you're taking on something pretty big there, very well balanced and everything. So I'd just love to hear just like the story and
Yeah,
taking that on.
it's both surreal and intimidating at the same time, right? So you sit there and you say to yourself, like, I'm actually building a class for the game that I played as a teenager.
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't mess this up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't mess this up. But you also have a huge, passionate fan base who has been playing this game, again, for 25 years. They know every little thing about the game, maybe sometimes even more, than the people working on it, which is crazy to me, right? It's their, it's their life. Luckily for me, I still play Diablo 2 every day. But yeah, building it's surreal and intimidating. You can't mess up the perfection of what Diablo 2 is in my mind,
Junior Cedarquist needs to approve.
Right, exactly. And it has to feel like it came out all those years ago,
And a lot of us as developers, we see the game from a perspective on here are all the pieces that make the mosaic that is Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're always looking for that space where you can add a new triangle to that mosaic.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that stuff, you'll be looking at it purely mechanical or systems based, right? And you might miss out on the fantasy. Or you're looking at it from the fantasy space and you totally miss out on the mechanics that you can add to it. And so I think it's finding that perfect balance there, which largely comes from sitting down with fans, being a fan yourself, and really trying to reconcile both of those questions at the same time.
So I'm really curious, like how you thought about the Warlock for Diablo 2 Resurrected and also for Diablo 4. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the differences besides, looks good on a CRT monitor versus on a 4K monitor?
Yeah. When we were originally coming up with the idea for the Warlock, it was almost like taking a historical building and adding a new wing to it, right? And you're like, it has to still be historical.
Got to match.
It has to match. You still have to preserve, what D2 is, but it also has to grip new sort of gameplay, right? So it pushes the limits a little bit on what D2 has to offer. So the folks who have been playing for 25 years, they get that like, wow, this is a still new feeling, right? And for the people who are coming back, it's nostalgia hit, and it's also the new.
Yeah, it is. I would say going in and adding to this game is like very sensitive brain surgery, right? Like there's precision involved, the discussion, the prep, before you even start an ounce of content. Yeah, it was pretty tremendous. And it was great to see the team coming out, sitting down in concept art reviews and looking at the various versions of the Warlock and the way it should be. Yeah. We had big vision boards on what it meant. And we had great debates on the differences between what we wanted to see out of Diablo versus what the expectation might be.
Because we wanted to show the growth.
We wanted
where the Warlock was, if it was back, 1999, 2000, to where it is now.
Exactly.
And that hits with the art style as well.
Yeah, you're building a lore, and that you can't take lightly either. So we're talking about, for the Diablo universe, a new class of magic that is rooted in lore. You can go back and you can take a look at any of our lore and see where we have some connective tissue there. And then building upon that. And what is it like to be a person who turns their back on the light and lives with demons for decades? And what would that do to you? And so that's where a lot of the gameplay, a lot of the powers that you're going to see are going to be based on what that manifestation of that dark power is going to look like. It's a spectacle.
I'd imagine your hygiene would take a bit of a hit.
And you'll see that.
Yeah, you'll
it gets grittier and grittier and grittier.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes, because that was a point in many meetings where we're like, we need to make this grimy, or we need to make this.
Well, even in the cinematic, remember we were like, no, that's a little too clean.
Yeah.
Right?
Your shaving days are over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Warlock in Diablo 2 Resurrected available now.
Yep.
And, while some of us have been playing Diablo 2 since 1999?
Yeah, it came out in 2000.
2000?
Yeah.
It's now available on Game Pass for the first time.
It is.
Which is very cool. And it means a lot of people are going to be playing for the first time. How excited are you for like people to be experiencing what you experienced back then, and just have it be available to so many more people now?
Yeah, it's epic. It's epic to see so many people still playing Diablo 2 to this day, millions and millions of people still playing a 25-year-old game, right? For the core gameplay loop, for the itemization, just the thrill of what the game has to offer. And then to add on to not only a new class, but all the other plethora of things that we've added onto that, and having Game Pass people come in and play as well, just epic.
And it is every game designer's, game artist's, game developer's dream to get your craft out into as many hands as possible.
Absolutely.
So to be on platforms that allow us to reach out to as many people as possible and know that you're bringing fun to the communities in the world, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So with this update to D2R, there's not just the addition of the Warlock, but you've gone in there and updated a number of things as well. Terror zones, Uber agents, some stuff with loot. Can you tell us about that?
So we've added a ton to this game. And the great part about it is that we actually, again, 25 years worth of feedback. Super passionate fans who have told us through community forums, Discords, whatever it may be, to talk about what it would be like in Diablo 2 if there was something else coming, right? Nobody had a clue that we were going to do something for Diablo 2. Like in what world do you come back 25 years later and put out new content like
insanity.
This? To me, it's insanity.
Yeah.
Right?
It's insanity.
To me, it's insanity. And so to bring the stuff that people have been really itching for, terror zones, updated core gameplay loop, and then some of the other stuff like stash tabs, material tabs, consumable tabs. All these things are where the ARPG genre has grown.
Yep.
And we have brought that in, loot filters.
Yeah.
There's many things that are coming along to make it feel new, but the gameplay still stays the same, right? You're not changing the Mona Lisa.
Right.
So the Mona Lisa, but at the same time, you're bringing it up to new standards of 2026.
Updating the frame, right? That's fine.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, we're rearranging the furniture a little bit.
Right.
But that's also incredibly important for any new player. We've got players in the franchise that weren't born when this game was out. Right. And so their expectations for modern gaming has changed. So the quality of life updates that we're doing with the stash tabs and being able to stack items and just making it a little bit easier will, the modern gamer won't have to go through the decades of workarounds that were there. And so I'm incredibly impressed with how much is added to the game to just make it more approachable to a brand new audience.
More accessible, more approachable. Yep. Yeah, we did a lot of that type of work when we brought the game onto console, onto Xbox. We took a hard look at
controls were
control
big deal. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was, it might have been Diablo 3 when it was the first to really make that jump to console. And I was like, but I'm used to playing with a mouse. And then I was like, wait, this really works.
Yes.
I'm really into this. Yeah. So kudos to y'all for that. All right. So that's the start of the year here. Now we're going to start looking ahead to April. We got Lord of Hatred, of course, coming. I think it's going to be huge for Diablo 4. I was in the audience at the Game Awards during that reveal. I was breathing in the smoke. It actually smelled like strawberry. It was great.
Yeah, had a good scent.
Folks, just sanctuary. Don't do aromatherapy. I promise you. It was good. And as soon, and of course, like a lot of other people, as soon as I got home, I pre-ordered Lord of Hatred, and then because I wanted to get a hold of that paladin and have gone through and throwing shields and hammers and all this and just really love it. I loved it enough where I was like, I'm not even worried about min-maxing. That sounds like a cool attack. I'm just going to just try that out. And then, and then later I went back and I was like, oh, my build craft can use some work. But so much fun so many different ways to attack. So I'm just curious, like now it's been a couple months. What has feedback been like on the paladin and, just how that all went?
The reception has been overwhelmingly positive. One, the fans have been asking this forever. I was doing interviews pre-Vessel of Hatred where everybody's like, when's Paladin coming out? When's the Paladin? So we knew that this was something that the fans were super, super passionate about. It's a class archetype that we also know and love. And so it was a clear vision on how to get there. And the thing that I'm most excited about is not only did we deliver it and everybody's having a great time, but when the game comes out in April, you're going to get a full skill tree revamp to that class. right? So not only is it new now, it's going to be new again in April. So there's just so much to look forward to that class. Plus, you've got the Warlock class coming out at the same time. I mean, a lot of the themes that you're going to see in the entire expansion are around that, the duality between heaven and hell. You've got the Paladin, you've got the Warlock, and so. But the Paladin journey has been amazing. It was a huge hit. I'm looking forward to more improvements to it as we go along, just like we do with any of our other classes, and it's been pretty great.
Very cool. So at the Game Awards, you introduced, another cinematic. The cinematics have been awesome since the very beginning.
Absolutely.
So good. I mean, that's a Blizzard specialty.
Yeah.
I think we have no problem saying, which gave us a lot of good looks at the Paladin, and of course at Big Baddie Mephisto taking on a lot more dangerous than a dog, right? So, and, like almost adorable, but not
a good boy.
Yeah, exactly. I would have went in for a pet. That might not have worked out. But then the next week, you released an excellent video called Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred, the story so far.
Yeah.
I consider this required viewing, and not just because there's more Ralph Innocent, the voice of Lorath. Also say I'm playing through Final Fantasy 16. Like if I could have a superpower, I don't need invisibility, I don't need flight, I want his voice.
That's right.
That would be good. I would just take that and be happy. What can you tell us about the Lord of Hatred story?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're building up to the reckoning of Mephisto. You're seeing that in all the cinematic content and story content that we've been releasing, and that's really what we want to do, is get to a point where we're showing that the Age of Hatred is not just about a primeval trying to take over Sanctuary. It's a primeval trying to reshape Sanctuary, like put it in a whole new vision. And you were on the doorstep of that happening, and not only is that going on, and you're watching all the fallout that's happening across the continent, plus your friends, but you have to be in an uneasy alliance with Lilith. Like, there is so much juicy content there that we're like putting into a wonderful campaign that everybody is going to absolutely adore, that ends on a boss fight that you do not want to miss.
Just, by the way, you just, bringing back Lilith. Because last I saw, she was, crumbled into dust. So I guess we'll have to see how that all comes
together. You got a special bond with Lilith that, it's like, if you really go back and you look at the story and like how you first met Lilith, like what was that first encounter like? Right? Yeah. Right from the beginning of the prologue of D4, that was the beginning of this big journey, and we're leading up to some big moments.
All right. So I love the lore. I'm one of those people who probably plays more for the lore than anything, but obviously the mechanics are what keep people coming back and playing through again and again and again. And so you've got a bunch of updates that's based on player feedback, something I think the Diablo team's always been good at. So what are some of those updates? What do you think people are going to be really looking forward to?
I think War Plans is huge. One of the feedbacks that we get all the time is endgame. Yep. And we've got Diablo 2 that has an amazing endgame. We've got Diablo 3 that's got amazing
that core gameplay loop that people...
Absolutely, 100%. And so we're injecting a system that gives you control over all the core activities inside of the game. And so not only can you gain progress in those, but you're going to get unique skill trees per activity, and you can manipulate the activity itself. I mean, that is such an interesting concept. When the team brought it up, I'm like, we have to do this. Like, if you can actually alter your Nightmare Dungeon experience and bring in mechanics from other activities into a Nightmare Dungeon, or change what's happening with the monsters or the goblin spawns or the rewards, and it, like, giving that much agency to the players in the end game when they're chasing their final items, that it is massive.
Yeah. Anytime you can put the player in the driver's seat and 100%. Let them figure it, it's beautiful.
People love the grind, but if you can make the grind a little less of a grind, maybe
make it more custom. That's the thing that I like, is like, we get feedback on every activity all the time. We're like, okay, like if you want to adjust it, here you go.
Yeah, here you go.
Earn the right to adjust it. And it extends the journey significantly as well. The amount of attention you put into a character, now you can start putting that attention also into the activity.
Can we get into details a little bit about the skill tree updates? I'm a bit of a skill tree nerd.
Yeah.
Are you changing the structure? I'm used to the sort of, diagonal every 5 early on, every 5 points I get, a new ability and I'm going back and modifying those.
There are a lot of changes to that. I mean, I don't know if it fully represents the footage that you've seen of this, but it's like we do joke that it is a skill twig right now, and we want to make sure that it's a skill tree. And so we've looked at it from 2 angles. What's working with the class, right? And so a lot of stuff is going to be the same. It's going to be familiar. A lot of the skills you're going to see are the skills you know. Mm-hmm. But as you make your way further out onto those branches, we took a hard look at some of those A/B choices and made sure that they were up to snuff. Are there any changes that we need? So we've reworked up to 40 additional per class.
So we say A/B, where you can only have one or the other.
Right.
Okay.
And so we've reworked a bunch of those in order to make sure that they're up to snuff. We have also added 80 additional options across the tree that allow you to modify the attributes of those skills. And with Lord of Hatred, we've added 20 additional choices. So where you have the branch between A and B, now you have a C. Mm. And those C's are where you're going to see really big change, really build defining choices for each of the class. So for example, we talk a little bit about you have your Hydra, you're used to seeing your Hydras. Now you can turn them into Frost Hydras, which brings a whole new damage type and a whole new set of gameplay to the Sork in a way that I think players are going to really love.
Is the goal to make existing characters? Obviously, there'll be a lot of focus on the Warlock. People are still enjoying and getting used to the Paladin, but to make existing classes feel new again? Or?
Oh, that's absolutely what it is. And it's and it's for everybody. So everybody is going to get these changes. Even if you haven't gone and got Lord of Hatred yet, you're going to be able to feel a fresh new take. It's going to feel way more robust. The customization options are so vast that you're going to have more agency on making some really weird builds that we haven't seen yet, which I think is really great. And then if you're in Lord of Hatred, it just takes it another step further. So you're going to see it for all the existing classes. The Paladin came out. Everybody's been playing the Paladin. It's going to get those changes. And then obviously the Warlock will come out with all those changes included as well.
Very cool. Definitely thinking of my beloved Necromancer and what I can do differently there. So
it'll be fun.
Very cool. So this is great stuff, I think, for the people who are with you season in, season out. It's also a lot of players. I think that they jump in when there's new story content, when you drop a new playable class. People that, a few weekends a year, they'd lose themselves entirely. They stay up very, very late, like Junior Cedar Quist did back then. So what's the best place for people that maybe, again, are playing a few weekends a year or haven't played in a little bit or maybe since Vessel of Hatred to keep up with this is how this new stuff is going to work. Here's the best place to spec your Warlock or your Paladin or things like that.
Yeah, we have one of the best communities in the world. I mean, they are so
ultra passionate,
all in, right? And the amount of documentation that they like to create is pretty significant. You can go out there and you can find a whole number of communities with a bunch of different flavors that fit you and your play style. Yeah. One of the awesome things about Lord of Hatred is that everybody is going on a new journey together again. Right. So we're disrupting the skill trees. Mm-hmm. We're disrupting the end game. We're giving you a brand new campaign. If you didn't come along for Vessel of Hatred, we're giving you all the things with Vessel of Hatred. And so you're going to see the communities really activate around those changes. And they're going to be doing new build guides. You can actually be on the forums in real time with them now. So my suggestion is go out there, find the community that fits for you. Plug in and get ready for this ride because there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's half the fun about putting out something new.
It is.
Is when the community really digs into it.
I agree.
You kidding me?
Content creators be very busy.
It's very busy. Yeah.
Next couple of months
definitely.
Here. Yeah, cool. So that's just the first part of this year because that's going to take us through end of April. So, but there's more to come from you all, I'm sure. I won't press too much because they would just edit it out anyway. But I mean, I'm assuming you got to keep some stuff up your Warlock sleeves here because this is BlizzCon this year. It's coming back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're pumped about BlizzCon. Like a year without a BlizzCon is a sad.
It was sad.
It's a sad time.
I did not like it.
Yeah. I love connecting with the fans. It's a wonderful experience, and to actually potentially drop some new stuff there is
Potentially.
is awesome. Is epic.
I mean, everybody knows that Diablo is a live journey.
Yep.
You know, we're going to continue to find ways to surprise and delight everybody as we go season to season, moving into BlizzCon. We've got the 30th anniversary. How do we take a fan first approach to BlizzCon and that anniversary? I mean, we're going to take you on a journey. We're not going to spill any beans right now on what we're doing, but everything is focused around, like, you've been with us this long.
Mhm.
Okay, let's sit down, stay a while, and listen. You get you
Smooth.
yeah.
Smooth. I can never be that smooth. That was nice.
It's gonna be great.
Very cool. Looking forward to it because I'm planning on talking my boss into letting me go to BlizzCon this year. I've never been, so I feel.
If you need any help, I'll send an email to make sure that that's
just looking at that camera, and you just still. That's permission if ever there was some. So, all right, before we wrap up here, just a final question for both of you. Obviously, the Paladin is great. The Warlock seems really cool, really filthy, and in the best possible ways. But of everything that we've discussed here, like, what are the things that, like, as you're working on things and you're working on design doc, or you're seeing like something like come to life for the first time, and you're meeting with QA or whoever it is, and you're like, oh man, I cannot wait until the community gets to do this. Do you have anything that jumps out at you where you're like, I know people are going to love it. Like, it feels so good.
Such a hard question.
It is a hard question.
Such a hard question. Listen, for the Warlock itself, I'll jump in. It's all
Okay,
good.
you got it. Yeah.
I'm just going to go back to never in my life would I ever imagine a new class for Diablo 2. So as a player, again, that's my mind's already blown, and I'm the one thinking of the things to bring to the game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you have the passion to continue to be playing Diablo 2, or understand that Diablo 2 specifically is the genre-defining ARPG,
Absolutely.
right? That everyone at least knows about. What a great time to come back, right? And just like Brent said, these are live service games. Like, even Diablo 2 still gets updates.
Yep.
Live service, even though not necessarily content specifically.
Sure.
But even when Resurrected came out, new content. So there's a healthy amount of feedback that we'll go through for Diablo 2, and hopefully there's something there in the future.
Oh, okay.
Even
All right.
more.
All right. I love it. I'm looking over to make sure PR is not.
I know.
We're not getting.
Trust me. I usually get that sort of like, stop.
I think for me, it's the journey that is the combination of everything we're doing with the class skill trees and the war plans endgame content, because the combination of the two brings forth my favorite part of this game, which is we don't know what's going to emerge from that journey.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's going to be builds that we have never seen before. There are going to be challenges on the leaderboard at levels we haven't seen before. The community is going to argue and debate and really dig in. And that's what this game is all about. And I can't wait to see that happen.
100%. Well, Brent Cedarquist, thanks so much for
Thank you.
creating all this stuff for the 30th anniversary. I'm very excited. I just want to go back and play some more, and we'll be doing that. And thanks also for joining us here on the official Xbox podcast. We're very excited for this year, for the Diablo team, and for those who are going to be jumping into Diablo 4, Diablo 2 Resurrected for the first time. It is available on Game Pass, so no excuse not to check it out. Any final thoughts before you go?
Other than, hey, I'm glad everybody's been with us on this entire journey, and I can't wait to see you in Sanctuary.
Huh?
Yeah.
That wraps it up perfectly. So why don't we just, we'll leave it there. Thanks to all of you for watching and for listening. We really appreciate you as well. This wraps up this episode of the official Xbox podcast. We're kind of in the middle of a bunch of Blizzard episodes, which is a pretty great place to be. We've got another one coming, so we will see you with that very soon. Have a good one.